Firefighting is a constant reevaluation of tactics, weather, and fuels. What has changed, what has not changed. Don't always assume, and this is what most of us do, that the fire we go to today is going to be the same as the fire we went to yesterday. Conditions change. In drought conditions, extraordinary things happen. Things that we don't often see. That's not in our catalog of experiences. And I think that's the main lesson, that we have a lot of firefighters in Texas that have a lot of experience. But when we get into extraordinary drought years, extraordinary years like this one, there's not many firefighters that have that catalog of experiences. So in those instances, we have to be overcautious. We have to be very careful, because this next fire is not going to act like the last fire we were on.
If you don't get the weather report, the accurate weather report, to the fireman on the ground that's out there dragging the black with him trying to put this thing out, then there's just another step that you're asking for something bad. You're asking for a failure to occur. And we'll broadcast that weather report. We do this on a 5-acre fire. We do it on a 5,000-acre fire.
During any type of drought situation, we really have to lower our thresholds of weather. When fuels are during drought conditions, there's more fuel available to burn, so it's going to add to the intensity, and it's going to add to fire spread. So it takes less weather, it takes less wind, less RH. Normally, maybe 2 weeks ago, you went out and it took 20-mile-per-hour winds, and it took 15% humidity to get a fire very active. Now, 2 weeks later, you go out, it only takes 12-mile-per-hour winds and 20% humidity to get that same type of fire behavior. So the fire environment is always changing, and it takes, as fuel's dry, it takes less weather to produce the same type of fire behavior. A lot of people do underestimate fire activity, fire behavior in grass fuels. Short grass fuels, not so much, but a lot of our grasses in Texas, the Johnson grasses, some of the bunch grasses, are very tall and can generate flame lengths up to 6 to 8 feet. So grass fires are never to be taken lightly. Grass is a common denominator in injuries, and I think the reason is because the fire environment can change so quickly in grass fuels. 1 minute you'll be looking at a flank fire, the next minute you're looking at a head fire. Grass fires produce a lot of smoke. Visibility and keeping an eye on where the fire is going, a lot of times is very difficult to do with grass fires. Grass fires move so quickly, there's always this sense of chaos, confusion that surrounds fast-moving grass fires. There's people moving everywhere. You throw an interface into that, you throw highways and traffic into that. It's a very confusing situation, very hard to sort out. So distractions abound, and firefighters may lose track of where that fire is, where they are in relation to the fire, and become entrapped before they know it. Grass fires are very serious and very dangerous. One thing when fighting grass fires, and actually it was a sage-old firefighter that told me this, and I've always remembered it, always ask yourself one question: do I really need to do this? If you ask that question and answer honestly, you can be safe. Do I really need to do this?
If you get the fire put out, but you got 2 guys in the hospital, your risk-benefit factor just went out the window. You're risking your life to stop a grass fire. I think a lot of times we don't look at the risk-benefit factor enough.